Gentlemen, you may be seated. Thank you.
Arriving at Western from Scarborough West Hill Collegiate in 1978, David Pearson cracked the starting defensive line as a true freshman. Playing the nose guard position at only 205 pounds, Pearson was commonly outweighed by opposing offensive linemen by at least 60 pounds. Fellow rookie teammate Greg Marshall said of Pearson, P-Man was one of the quickest defensive tackles I have ever played with or coached. He was so quick off the ball, he was often in the backfield before the ball was even handed off. David played with incredible intensity, both in practice and games. We used to finish every Tuesday practice with one-on-one Okie drills. I don't remember David ever getting blocked in that drill, and we had some great offensive linemen. In 1979, Pearson's sophomore season, the Mustangs upset the #1 ranked Wilfrid Laurier squad 28-12 in the West Division Final, placing the Mustangs in the national semifinal against the East Division champions, the Queens Golden Gales. This game would serve as a Yates Cup championship game. The Mustangs defeated Queens 32-14 and qualified Western for their 5th College Bowl appearance in the decade. Unfortunately, they encountered their first Vanier loss, going down to defeat 34-12 to the Acadia Axemen. Teammate Chris Marcus described Pearson as the ultimate teammate and warrior. A man of few words, he led by example with a work ethic in practices and games second to none. Always the aggressor in contact, P-Man had great anticipation and vision in order to time the snap of the ball just right, and as a result, no one got off the ball with the explosive power Dave did. The 1980 season witnessed the Mustangs returning to the Yates Cup championship game, where the Mustangs defeated the Laurier Golden Hawks 51-28, and the right to raise the Yates Cup in back-to-back seasons. The next week, the Mustangs would go down to defeat in the Western Bowl against the Alberta Golden Bears in a defensive 14-4 struggle. That season, Pearson was recognized as one of the most dominant linemen in Canada when he was awarded the 1980 John P. Metris Trophy as the most outstanding lineman in the OUA Conference. Named a first-team All-Canadian at the defensive tackle position, Pearson was described as a classic example of an individual who aspires to and has achieved excellence. His inspirational play is largely responsible for the defensive record achieved by Western during the regular season. Teammate Craig Board said of Pearson, on every single play, he was either double or triple teamed. They could never stop him. His desire and energy put him quite simply over the top. In his senior year, Pearson was named a first-team OUA All-Star for the 2nd consecutive season, and was instrumental in leading the Mustangs to another Yates Cup championship game where they would achieve the three-peat in a thrilling 17-7 victory over the Guelph Griffins. Returning to the Western Bowl, the Mustangs would suffer a heartbreaking 32-31 defeat at the hands of the Alberta Golden Bears. Drafted by the Saskatchewan Roughriders in the 4th round of the 1981 CFL Draft, Pearson would play the 1982 season with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers as a linebacker and special teams player. Numerous concussions resulted in Pearson stepping away from the game he loved at the conclusion of the season. Mustang teammate Craig Board summed up David Pearson, the player and the person. They could never stop him. Dave had a motor that just would never stop. Determination, non-stop energy, grabbing, clawing his way, always to success. He always had the dirtiest shirt and pants every game and got ready for the next play or challenge. Kind of a quiet guy, he always stood out by his determination, guts, and will. David Pearson, a Mustang legend.
Please welcome to the stage 2023 World Champion inductee, Dave Pearson.
And with the 51st pick in the 2023 draft, Miami Dolphins select Cam Smith, cornerback, South Carolina. It's true. Man, well, I don't know what to say. Yeah, kind of blown away, really. I got to say thanks to the selection committee. Congratulations to all the other nominees or award winners tonight. Big thanks to Paul Gleason for making me look so good. You know, it brings back a lot of memories. First of all, I'd like to get here, you get a lot of help from a lot of people. And number one was my dad. You know, he's always wanted to throw the ball, never said no. He had all the great cliches, if you can touch it, you can catch it. My dad's here tonight, he's 91 years old. He was also my agent. He negotiated that great contract I got with the Blue Bombers. I think Dieter Brock made more in a quarter than I made the whole year. I never should have cashed that $400 signing bonus. It would have been a keepsake for sure. But yeah, he was my first great coach, and thanks to Ed.
You're welcome.
Probably the coach that had the most influence on me growing up was Bobby Five-Ash. That was Freddie's dad. He started coaching me when I was around 7 or 8 years old, all the way right through high school. Mr. Five-Ash was an All-American at Florida State. He was a running back. He actually played for the London Lords here, you know, in the semi-pro league way back in the day. He taught me everything. He had a great passion and knowledge of the game of football, and he passed it on. When I arrived here at Western, believe it or not, I was a running back, and boy, that was Greg's first year. The Western had just won 3 championships in a row. There must have been 100 guys at running back position. I looked over at the defensive line. There was probably like 13 or 14, and I said to the coach, I said, I think I'm going to go over there to the D line. He looked at me and he kind of smiled and said, yeah, I think so. If I would have, who would have, could have, should have, who knows. But my coach those first 2 years was Reggie. And all we did was hit the 7-man and the 2-man sled over and over and over. That's all we did. I put 2 inches on my thighs that year. We hit it and hit it. I remember one time after a game I was talking to Coach Haler, and I said, boy, all we do is hit the sled. All we do is hit it and hit it. And Coach Haler said, yeah, but we can really count on the defensive line in the 4th quarter. So lesson learned from Coach Reggie. I mean, we were out of shape. We were in great shape back then. My next coach with my 3rd year was probably my best year, and that was Coach Jamie Horn. He was an intern doing his master's, and he was the first coach that really came up with the techniques, how to use your hands, how to look through the blocks, how to read. You know, if the tackle, the guard goes down, turn your head, you're going to get the treble. We played through the linemen to the backfield, and that really helped me a ton. So big ups to Jamie Horn. Greg said he still is in contact with Jamie, and he would let him know for sure about that. Of course, I've lost all my notes here, so I'm winging it. Too many concussions. Yeah. It's kind of true, but it's a different story. But anyway, finally, and last but not least, was Coach Darwin Samodiak. He coached. He was ahead of his time back then. if you guys all remember the cone drills, we did cone drills after cone drills after cone drills. He was always positive, not a yell guy, not a in your face, shake your face mask. Everything he did was positive. He always believed that the game of football was a lot of emotion, and he coached that way. I remember he came to our high school back in the day. I played in Scarborough, and we went undefeated 2 years. And I think, Norbert Keller, Chicken Man, me, Freddie Five Ash, Craig Board, Dave Plowman was on our team. We had a good team, and we thought our poop didn't stink. He came in, he sat down with us. I think one of the guys said, yeah, when do you think I'll be able to start? And Coach Zamodiak just looked at him and said, if you make the team and you put the work in, you may get to play on your second or third year. A lot of the guys didn't like that, but to me it was he was going to give me a fair chance to play, and I wanted to go there, and that's why I picked Western. When I got to Western, my first year, I was, didn't know what was going on. As soon as I made the team, though, all the older guys took me in. Ron McNamara, the Love Machine, Ron Hooser, Murray Watson, all those old names from the past. They took me under their wing, and they taught me how to be a Mustang. They got me right in the training room. I remember every Christmas I came back to school, I gained 20 pounds. So a lot of beer and pizza, I guess. But anyway, they taught me the Mustang way, and I tried to pass that on to the guys as they all came in. Again, I've lost my spot. Oh yeah, quick story about Coach Zamodiak. So it was the first year, me and Norbert, we still had our West Hill Warrior helmets with a big red W. We were in a half-line drill, and we were struggling through. We did 3-a-days back in the day, believe it or not. So we were struggling through practice, and I think after the first practice, sitting up against the stadium wall. We just finished lunch. We were both exhausted. I remember me and Norbert had discussions like, do we really want to be a Mustang this bad? And Coach Zamodiak came up and looked down at us, and he said, are you the two W helmet guys? And I thought, oh God, we're cut. And he said, and we said, yeah, Coach, yes, Coach. And he said, you guys are doing a great job, keep it up. And it was encouragement like that inspired me to take the extra step, to try a little bit harder, and we were both lucky enough to make the team that year. Thanks to Tim, got it, done it. Oh, lasting memories from being a Mustang. Number one thing I always remember was the grind, always the same. Monday 5 mores, Tuesday Okies, Wednesday half line, Thursday full line, Friday walkthrough, Saturday game, Sunday hungover, coming down the stairs, sore as hell. Number 2, that smell at the rookie initiation. Oh my God. It turns my stomach every time I smell it. If you know, you know. That's all I'm going to say about that. Number 3, I use this saying all the time. My family laughs, and buck up for Bucky. I was there when it was started. Greg Marshall walking around with a baseball cap, trying to get money to buy beer for Bucky, was going to try to beat the 6-ounce shot record. So buck up for Bucky. I played against Billy Howard for 4 years. I'll never forget the intensity in his face and the grit after Larry chewed his ass out if he didn't block me very good. I'll never forget it. Number 5, the long bus rides home after a victory, and that stupid yo hey yodi yadi yadi song we used to sing all the time. That was pretty good. Number 6, the pregame meal at the Keg, steak and eggs at 6 a.m. in the morning. Who wouldn't like that? Number 7, we had just lost the College Bowl to Acadia, the varsity stadium. We were up in our floor of the hotel partying and carrying on. And the guys grabbed Mike Kirkley and stripped him down, threw him into the elevator. and he was buck naked. Oh, wait a second, that was my wife's favorite memory, sorry. My wife Cheryl is here with me, so sometimes I think I'm funny, but I'm really not. And lastly, I'd like to do a toast to some of the guys, the boys that aren't with us today. Freddie Five-Ash, he'll always be my quarterback. Mike Kirkley, I roomed with him and Ryan Potter my second year. He was a tough guy with a big heart. Billy Howard, Hooch, he gave me the name P-Man. It's not what you think. Rick Baloney, Coach Haler, and Coach Somodoyak. I made it through, I didn't think I would. Thanks so much, everybody. I really appreciate it.
In a different day and age, we could probably tell the story about how someone got the nickname the Love